Hey guys, it's Hannah, and today I have another Hannah's Random Rambles, but this Random Rambles is completely random because it has a topic, and that topic is, what makes a book good? Now some of you might be thinking, well, if I like a book, then it's good, and yeah, if you like a book, then you think it's good. I've been thinking about this a little bit, and I think that there are three main things that make a book good, and depending on which one you prefer the most, or which one you enjoy the most, then that'll change which books you enjoy better than other books and why someone else might not like the same books you do and that sort of thing. So the first thing, number one, that I think is something that makes a book good is the writing style. And there are so many different ways writing style. There's like poetic writing styles, there's really just kind of straight and to the point writing styles, and also the different voices different characters have. Like for example, in the Legend trilogy, Day's point of view is very different from June's point of view because they're two entirely different people, and so they have two entirely different voices, and you can really tell whose is who by just the way it's written and the way it sounds. A book could have kind of a meh plot and meh characters, but it could have a really good writing style, which in turn might make you like it more because that brought it up for you. And if writing style is what you enjoy most about a book, then it could be the crappiest book in the world, but you would still love it because it was really poetically written. One example for me of this would be, I didn't enjoy, and I mentioned this in my 25 Facts About Me, I didn't enjoy The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I didn't care for the characters much, they kind of annoyed me, it wasn't my favorite thing. However, I really did love John Green's writing style, which kept the book from being like a 2 out of 5 stars and moved it up to a 3 out of 5 stars. So writing style, even though it's usually not something people think about a whole lot, does come into play a lot. The second thing that I think plays into making a book good is the plot. You could have meh characters and a meh writing style, but if you have a really cool plot, then again, that might bring up your book rating. Because it's easier to ignore the fact that you don't like these characters, or ignore the fact that this writing style is kind of meh, if someone gets their head chopped off and then next thing you know, John's engaged to Sylvia. You see what I'm saying here? Having a really cool and engaging plot, if your characters and writing style are meh, then it can help you forget that they're meh and make your book rating a little bit higher. Another example, I read Black Widow Forever Read by Margaret Stohl, I believe it is, and I have a whole review for that. I'll leave that down below. I didn't really care much for this book. I enjoyed it, but not as much as I was hoping. But one thing that I did enjoy was the plot, or like the whole idea of the plot. I thought it could have been played out a little bit better, but the plot was really cool. I just didn't care for the characters much. And we're about to get the characters. But occasionally the plot would help me forget how much I didn't care for the characters, which made it not be a horrible rating. The third thing that I think makes a book good are the characters. So as y'all probably know, and for all of you people as you can probably tell, I really like the characters. So out of the three main things that I'm mentioning here, characters is the big one for me. If I have a meh plot and meh writing style, but I have great characters, then I'm more okay than if I don't have great characters but have a better writing style or better plot. So for me, characters are the main thing I enjoy in a book. And when I say characters, I mostly mean how relatable they are, or just how real they feel. If I can't relate to them, then I don't care about their hardships, I don't care about their struggles, I don't care that their best friend just got beheaded, because I haven't felt connected to them, and I don't care, because I don't feel that connection. And there is always that, you know, somebody died, yes, I feel sad, but it's not sad in the same way as if, oh my gosh, my favorite character's best friend just died, or oh my gosh, my favorite character just died. There's a different kind of sorrow. And if your characters aren't developed, or if there's no character development, or if your characters aren't relatable, if you just have lousy characters, then I don't care. And I feel like a lot of people like to have, I'm guessing here, but I feel like a lot of people like to have relatable characters. We like it when we can see bits of ourselves in the people we're reading, especially if that person is kick butt, because then we feel kick butt because we can relate to them in some way. And then if we can relate to them in that way, and then they're doing all these amazing things this way, we feel like we can do all these amazing things that way. So in my mind, characters are probably one of the most important things in your story. Obviously, the ideal story would have great characters, great plot, and great writing style. But what I'm saying here is that even though the best story has all three, you still prefer a certain one. So for me, obviously, I prefer to have characters. If I had to pick one, think of it this way, if you had to pick one to be the best thing in the book, which one would you pick? Would you rather have a great writing style and then meh characters and meh plot, a great plot and then meh writing style and meh characters, or great characters and then a meh plot and meh writing style? Which of the three is your favorite? And then depending on what book you have, it might get a better rating because the one you prefer was still okay. Even though I didn't really care for The Fault in Our Stars or Black Widow Forever Red, you might have really enjoyed it. You might have really enjoyed The Fault in Our Stars because you just loved the writing style, and writing style is your favorite thing about any book. And so, since it is such a great writing style, it was one of your favorite books ever. Or you really like plot, and so the plot in Black Widow kept you engaged. So let me know in the comments down below which one of the three things I mentioned is your favorite part of a book. Because I think the three things combined make the best books. If you have a great plot, great characters, and a great writing style, then you, my friend, have the best book in the world. Round of applause, we all love you. But let's face it, there are some books that aren't as strong in one of the areas. The question here is, which area do you always want it to be stronger in, and which areas will you give the author a little leeway? And one last thing that I'm going to mention, and it isn't part of my three main points that make a book good, but it sometimes comes into play, and that is expectations. Especially now that we have social media and booktube and all these different platforms to be like, here's my favorite book, you need to read it. And when you have everybody saying that about this one book, and then you read that one book and you didn't like that one book, why didn't you like it? Was it because it just wasn't the book for you and you just didn't enjoy it? Or was it because you didn't think it met the hype? Because I feel like sometimes we make something bigger than it is, and when we actually get around to reading the book, it doesn't meet what everybody says it should have met, and so that way we feel disappointed. And maybe it was a great book, but just because it wasn't as great as everybody else was saying it was, we feel like it was less than it was. Everybody's not gonna like every book. So if you don't like a book that basically everyone else likes, it's okay. You didn't like that book. It wasn't the book for you. It wasn't your style, wasn't what you enjoy, whatever, or it was something you enjoyed but you just didn't enjoy the way it played out. Whatever the reason you didn't like it is okay. So as long as people aren't getting into fistfights because I liked a book and you didn't, then we're all good. I liked it, you didn't, or you liked it and I didn't, and that's okay. We have different opinions. We're good. Right? Basically, I think there are three things that make a book good, and that everybody has a preference for one of those three things, and depending on which one that is, will alter your opinion on a certain book. But then one other thing that also comes into play is your expectation for the book. If it's a book you haven't really heard anything about, and you're going in with no expectations at all, it might completely blow your mind compared to if you went in there expecting it to be amazing. Or if you went into it expecting it to be horrible, then it was even better because it just completely blew your expectations out of the roof. And so that plays a big factor into how much we enjoy a book, or how well we rate a book, or how much we fangirl over a book because of how much we heard about that book, or what we expected that book to be like. I think that's all I have to say. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of random, but it's a Hannah's Random Rambles, so what do you expect? So let me know down in the comments what you thought of my 3 things that make a book good, and if you would add more, if you would take one away, which one of the 3 I said you prefer, that sort of thing. And also let me know what you think about expectations for books and all the hype, and if you think that makes a book better or worse, or if you'd rather go into a book knowing absolutely nothing, or knowing basically everything, and if you think that really affects how much you liked it and your opinion about the book. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see y'all again in another one soon.